Greetings and salutations. So, in this video, I'm going to go over some of the stuff that I've been working on. I've been wanting to build or get my head wrapped around some of the metrics around the hover vehicles because I've been focusing on CVs and like a colony or a kind of a starship, a ship that I can bounce around through galaxies. And then I want to just have a couple purpose built vehicles. And so, of course, as I did in an earlier video, I spawned everything in the workshop that had to do with Empyrion. And I've been playing with it and testing it and seeing what its functionality is. And I found this little gem, which I like a lot. It's not too crazy on the turret, so you just don't burn through an obscene amount of ammo. And so it spawned. It came as this, right? The Idor. Um, and when I started looking at some of the metrics, I started looking at what kind of thrusters it had. I noticed that it had the large 1x3x1s, and so I started swapping out thrusters to see what I got and what I minused out of those 1x3s. And then I started looking at volumes in here because once I swapped out the thrusters to the tier 1x1s, because I always try to provide an upgrade path. I don't like to spawn in something that's the best of the best. I always like to salvage and craft along the way, and so it's just to get in it as cheap as possible and then upgrade as I go. It freed up a whole 9 cubes behind each thruster bay. So like I could put an additional 18 cubes in the back, another 9 on each side, and another 18 in the front. So like that added over, I don't know what that math is, but it added like something like 120 extra additional blocks. So I was able to take the cargo storage from 9,000 all the way up to 14,000, and same thing with the ammo and the ore volume. I was just able to increase all the volumes around the board, and so the advantage of that was it's just got a little bit more functionality now. And because I switched out all the thrusters, I was able to drop the CPU usage by 10K, and then that gave me a bunch of headroom on the storage. I got rid of one of the constructors because you don't need two constructors. You're always going to have your CV. This is never meant to be a standalone base, so you just need the one constructor to do ammo. And the idea kind of behind this is I want to get more into purpose-built vehicles instead of just one jack of all trades. And so changed out all the thrusters, and then I took a hard look at the weapon platforms, and it's really hard to get away from what they currently have. It's a good system, and it's a good match. So I think I'm just going to keep what it's currently got, and roll with it. Like I looked at it, I took a hard look at them, and I was like, man, it's good the way it is. So another big thing is I went through the texturing, and I cleaned up the texturing and kind of streamlined it a little bit. Got rid of all the hashings. Made all the rooftops, like anything you walk on needs to be diamond plate. I'm not an advocate of diamond plate. I actually hate diamond plate, but it's kind of the go-to metal floor texturing or grading. I wish they would add a grading texturing in, but so I went through and I did that. I just added diamond plate to all the rooftop surfaces, and just generally cleaned it up. I noticed that this thing's a little old. This thing might have been crafted before weights and measurements or mass and volumes, because like the windshield here is an older windshield, and so I upgraded it to an armored windshield. Okay, I guess it's not an armored windshield. I thought it was an armored windshield. Let's see here. It says armored. Okay, I guess that is the armored. I thought that I thought that that armored windshield would have had more hit points. I'm thinking of the CVs because the way that hit points scale. What's a regular windshield got? Armored. Um, a regular windshield's going to have nothing. Okay, but I redid this. I changed the the geometry a little bit. That's the word I was looking for. Geometry a little bit, and kind of worked some of the the textures to try to get it to fit in a little bit better. And then I got in here and reworked all the LCD screens, and that by far was the biggest time sink, is updating. Apparently all these LCDs were under an older platform, so it asked me if I wanted to upgrade them. And so once I did that, um, the old script was no longer valid. So it goes from looking like this, right? Spotlight on off. And then I'll go to the older one right here, and it looks like this. And this is a good. I mean, this is okay. This is not bad. But you can see where it looks a little blocky. It looks a little. I don't know why that is, but on the newer script, it just looks crisper. You notice that it looks crisper. So got in and messed around. I actually had to open up a text document and kind of do my editing in there a little bit, and got rid of a couple of these chests in here, and I was able to got rid of the double refrigerator and got just the one refrigerator, and pulled some stuff out. So the big takeaway, besides cleaning it up, reworking the LCDs, and redoing the texturing, and adding probably another 4K, well, 4, then 2, about probably another 10K of total storage. And the cost. Let's go over the cost. So the original one was 13. Copper was 1321. I got it down to 1092. And then the other expensive, like titanium rods, 238, 238, cobalt 158, 158. Let me see a rare material. So really, it's the top four is where it 10, 10, 10, 12. So I took about 400, almost 500 materials off here, and then I probably pulled close to 1,000 material total off of this thing. Which, at this level, if you're putting in small optic bridges and optic matrix, that's not that big a deal. But the idea is I just wanted to try to get the cost down a little bit, and then so here's the big takeaway, right? So we're gonna jump in the old one. Um, we're gonna jump in the old one. I love how you can actually see out of this thing. You can jump in the old one, and you can see where whatever direction you're going, it'll say max at the top. So if I push left, right, 50, 50, like it's max speed no matter what is 50 in any direction, because it's just completely overkill on the thrusters. There's it's not going to go any faster than 50. You could put 100 thrusters on there, it's going to go 50. So what's kind of the interesting take on this is, because I rolled into a different set of thrusters, I just put the tier 1 mediums. I didn't go crazy with it. Now I go backwards, right? It's still 50. It's still 50. And then my lateral, because I only have one pack of 9 on the right, it's 30. Okay? And because I only have one pack on the left, max speed is 30. And so I lose 20 miles per hour on the lateral. So what that tells me is I'm overkill on the front by was there 18 thrusters on the front? I'm overkill by probably 99 is 18. I'm probably overkill by 6 thrusters in the front and back. So I could, you know, do a little bit of refit and you know, with some of these metrics and kind of do a little redesign and probably pull another, you know, and if I go to tier two, I could, you know, I could even pull down my thruster requirement even more because I just can't see the reason for loading so many thrusters into it. Elevate this thing a little bit. Elevate this thing up. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to load it into a survival, just spawn it into a survival and go attack some POIs and just see how this thing performs. It's got a ton of, what's that, 2, 4, 6, 8 on each side. And what is this? Oh, I did not realize that there's a little, did not realize, what is this? Can you get in this way? Let me see something here. I don't know where that, I see what it does. I see what it does. I see what it does. Okay, right? So that what it does is it pulls you into the seat. Ah, clever, clever. The more and more I kind of mess around with this thing, so if that way, if you know, if it's too high to jump up, even with turn the jetpack on. So if you get stuck, okay, I'm in God mode. Right? Okay, am I in God mode? I'm having a moment here. Okay, Jay. Because you're not. Oh, I'm creative, so I think it's going to boost her no matter what. But if you get stuck on the outside, you're able to get back into it. If you exceed the, I really like that. And then you have a drone hatch on the outside. One thing I have to figure out though is some of the switches. The switches are. Let's go back. The switches aren't. There's no signal or. There's no signal or. They're not linked in. I mean, they work. Like the lights are the lights, and the they work. Let me get here and look at this. Right. If I go over to. I want to keep this one separate. I want to make sure I keep this one separate. I don't think I've done anything. It's easy to when you got a couple different variances rolling around. It's easy to get them kind of mixed up. So when I come in here and I look at the signal logic on this, right? There's my power, or that's these two are the constructors. I like how they have the turn off on switch. So let me hit P, and let me see. It just says lever. Right? If I go to signal logic, L constructor, okay, lower constructor 2, okay. Let me go to this, hit P, hit P, right? Low power, but I don't see what's tied into low power. Let me see if I can figure turrets. Defense, okay. Medic, nothing. Lights, MS inside, MS inside. Harvest. So I don't get what's tied into the low fuel tanks, fridges, flares, equipment. None of this stuff is doors, thrusters. Okay. Okay, so all this low power is tied into thrusters. You know, and that should be called thrusters. That should be called thrusters. Power safe. I guess that's generic enough. Low power. Yeah, that's what that is. And then okay, so that turns off your thrusters. So there's the two there, and then the drone hatch. Okay. You know, there's no boost on here. Uh, I wonder. I wonder what. Let's see what that does. Let's summon a. Where are you at? Hover right here. Let's put one of these on here. Okay. I don't really know where to put this, but we're just going to. I don't know if there's a. If there's a. Supposed to be kind of a rhyme or a reason. I guess it won't let me rotate. What the hell? I guess it only goes one way. Yeah, there's no flip. It's just there's not even. I can't even rotate it. Let me see something here. Okay, I'll just put this. I'll just put this right here, and let's see if that does anything. Okay, I've never messed with. I don't know how to use that. Yeah, I don't know what that does. I don't know how to use that. I guess the only reason you have this on here is if you get stuck. Okay, I've messed around with this enough. Okay, I'm gonna summon it in. I'd like to clean the inside of this up and figure out how to make it a little bit more streamlined. Like, there's no reason to have a chest with 125. It's such a small volume that I can't really justify. But I don't know what else to put there. You know, and same thing with the fridge. You don't need a lot of. It's 11.5. The LCDs turned out really nice. So I got the two chests in here, but this is too busy. This needs a. I need to rework all of this and clean this up. I just don't know. I just don't know what I want to do with it yet. You know, I might have to go look at some other ships for some inspiration and try to get like maybe what I'll do. Well, I can't do that. Um, yeah, I don't know, but this I'd like to get this whole panel right here cleaned up, and then this is not too bad. Um, I'd like to get this cleaned up a little bit too. You know, and what the reason why I say that is because I know I'm moving around kind of quick, but the reason why I say that, look at this as a variant. Look at how much cleaner this looks, and this is kind of where I want to go with how the cleanliness of this. Um, this is kind of more along the lines of how I want to do this, and so I might keep messing with it until I get it where I need it. But um, yeah, I'm gonna stop the video here. I'll make another video with it actually in game. And thanks for watching.